All right, can you hear me? Mic voice. All right, can you hear me? Might have a double audio thing going on. It says, hmm. All right, can you hear me? Mic voice. All right, can you hear me? All right, so seems like the seems like I fixed it. Testing, testing, one, two, one, two, three. Okay, okay. Okay. Just really like when I'm chatting, I want it to be something like this, right? Where I'm back here, chopping it up with y'all. Hey, what's up, gamers and gamettes, so on and so forth, right? And I think that that's a cool section of the screen. It's not everything, but just really like when I'm chatting. Okay. It looks like two microphones are recording me right now. So I'm kind of confused. If I mute this, you guys still hear me? I guess that's it. Okay, so you guys could still hear me. I did start chopping up a little bit though. That makes and see if this one's better. See if this one's a little bit better. Am I too distant from the phone? Okay, so you guys could still hear me. I did start chopping up a little bit though. That makes and see if this one's better. See if this one's a little bit better. Am I too distant from the phone? No, no. So yeah, for some reason the actual microphone that gets installed once when you plug up something, just a little choppy for me. So I got my own source in there. So hopefully help with that. Now let's see about the widgets and stuff. I know that they have widgets. Yeah, they got widgets. So we're gonna put the chat box here. Add that source. So I've always personally liked the box setup, so that's how I'm gonna have it on mine. Always show messages. Yeah. I'm gonna keep it where it's showing the platform icons. We'll put a 1 second chat delay. We'll display them for 10 seconds before they hide. So what I want to do is be able to slim it up and then squirt it out. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if they can, if you can control the size. Browser setting, yeah. Let's see, for okay. Because honestly, I would like to test it right after doing this. To be honest, let me see. 350. Is that enough? No. Maybe 300. Okay, 300 by what? And we'll just close down. I did kind of make it a lot bigger. Okay, so we added a chat bot to it, so now we should be able to see comments pop up when people have things to say. Now let's add another source, right? Spout to capture. Oh, virtual avatar capture source enables high resolution, zero compression, and zero latency video capture for V2 third-party software. We can do VR. It's a lot more streamlined than Streamlabs. I did always like Streamlabs more than just the normal OBS software, but Streamlabs is a little just it's a little buggy. It like starts closing on you and doing all this weird stuff, and you're just like, okay, never mind. Let's see, the jar, big goals. Yeah, and I would essentially do the same thing, 10 seconds, highlighted messages. Not too bad, actually. Oh, no, that's fine. I'll just take it back down to 16. Name, font, weight. What does that even mean? I'll keep that the same. I don't know. I think what I want to do is like a light blue. What is this? The name settings? No. Name settings is fine. It'll be like a light blue, yeah, or dark blue, I guess. So look for like a darker blue like that, and then for the highlight setting and the message setting, I guess we'll turn that color to more of a dark blue, or more like a light blue, I should say. So we'll go here like that, or maybe. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Done. Finito. And then we can just drop that in here. Honestly, we don't have to, but I'm gonna change the settings for this too. So, um, chat highlights. We're just gonna increase the width by like 1,000 because we need a lot of width. And then decrease the height by like 50. Not much, but. And you guys can't even see what I'm doing right now, so it's a little embarrassing, but it's fine. Oh yeah, you can. You can see it right there. Cool. Okay. I would love to get into some things like maybe setting up the stream or setting up the video. Do that. We will copy over some of the other things like the chat box and stuff like that. Well, so we're gonna take the chat highlights. gonna be skinnier on this one too. Yeah, yeah. All right. Hopefully that's good. Okay. Um,
Pilot game on.
Pilot who?
Give it.
Shalom, saints and spectators. It's your boy Elijah. Welcome to Mount Carmel's ultimate fire throwdown. One prophet of Yahweh versus 450 Baal boys who think fake gods can make fire. Me, solo, uno. No backup singers, no fire starting sticks, just faith and a full audience. Here's the rules. They call on Baal, I call on Yahweh. First god to light the altar wins. Loser. Might want to update your theology scrolls. You ever step into a moment where it's just you and your faith? Hey, Baal Squad, y'all good back there? Maybe he's asleep, maybe he's on vacation, maybe he's in the restroom. Try knocking louder. This is what happens when your god is imaginary and has bad Wi-Fi. I almost feel bad, but then I remember this is what idolatry looks like. Exhausting and empty. All right, it's time. No shouting, no blood, no chaos. Just one prayer. O Yahweh, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let them know today you are God, and I'm just your servant. Oh, it's happening! Oh, it's happening! I did not see that coming like that. You ever ask God to move and he goes full flamethrower mode? Yeah, I'm gonna sit down. They're all bowing now, even the king. No cheers, just silence. You can feel it, fear, awe, truth. You ever need proof God's still real? Still here? Sometimes he doesn't whisper. Sometimes he sets your doubts on fire. Okay, one fire duel, check. Now, rain. God, I don't want to push you, but it's been 3 years. We're crispy down here. My servant's up there. I told him, go look toward the sea. Bet it's still blue. Servant comes back. No cloud, Elijah. Of course. Classic Yahweh cliffhanger. 6 times. I'm out here doing squats in sackcloth, praying like my life depends on it, because it kind of does. There's a cloud, like the size of a man's hand. You ever see a miracle in its baby stage? Just a dot in the distance, but you know it's about to go wild? That'll do. Ahab took a chariot, but I got holy cardio. Hello! You ever obey God, then immediately have to run for it? Being a prophet is 50% faith, 50% cardio. Real talk. He sent the fire. He sent the rain. He showed up. If you're waiting on him, don't quit at cloud 6. Keep praying. Catch y'all next time. Unless Jezebel catches me first.
If you watch the latest Xbox showcase, you can see that Xbox has finally landed on a strategy, a plan for the future of Xbox. It's the Xbox Anywhere plan. They're betting the entire business on Game Pass and leaving the hardware innovation to their partners at Asus. This wasn't surprising. Hardware is expensive to make, It's much easier to slap an X. It's style, not substance. Just because you say something, it doesn't mean that you can do it. And it also doesn't mean that you won't change your mind. After all, Xbox has been pivoting a lot lately.
Yep, that's me. And you're probably wondering how I ended up here. Well, it's pretty standard.
Remember when they talked about the importance of high-quality games, but then shut down the studio that made Hi-Fi Rush? What about Game Pass? One of the defining features was day one games, and now there are tiers that don't offer the feature at all. Last year, Phil expressed how $70 pricing could feel manipulative to gamers, and now he's on board with charging $80 for Outer Worlds 2.
The cost may be high. One day, I know you'll be mine.
From my perspective, the Xbox strategy has been chaotic, so it's hard to say exactly what they'll do next. But assuming they stick with Xbox Anywhere, it's really left me wondering, will the latest announcement drive more gamers to Game Pass? Will they be able to convince gamers that the Xbox ROG Ally is a good idea? And what is going to happen with the hardware and software teams that aren't delivering right now in the Xbox team? Are they going to get caught up in the layoffs that Microsoft just announced are coming? For context, let's talk about why Xbox started and how it played into the strengths of Microsoft. I was working in Microsoft Game Studios on Crimson Skies when the console talks started. At that point, Microsoft dominated the office, but Sony owned the living room and was taking a serious bite out of the PC gaming market. When Xbox launched, there were at least 125 million PlayStations available, and there was a reason for that. Gamers could just plug in the PlayStation and the games worked. They didn't have to worry about why that piece of software on their Windows system didn't play nice with the other piece of software and why their video card wasn't working or that they needed an updated driver. It was simple.
This is how you share your games on PS4. Thanks.
Of course, at that time, game developers actually listened to their customers and they would follow them. With all of these gamers going to PlayStation, game developers started trying to climb the hill of learning the PlayStation. And if they could do that, then they didn't have to worry after they made their game about testing all of those hardware and software compatibility issues that plagued the Windows ecosystem. It just worked. Microsoft could see this threat, so they jumped in and did what Microsoft does best. They took over an existing market by leveraging their strengths. They already had a fine-tuned system of execution at scale. They knew how to ship product, and they knew how to scale their system across a large team. Luckily, Microsoft had already built a game developer foundation with Microsoft Windows and DirectX. The message for Xbox was simple. With a hard drive, you could build your game once on Xbox or Windows, and it would just work. Of course, the problem was Windows was bloated. So without telling Bill Gates, the Xbox team removed the bloat and made a light version to power the box.
I start to try to argue for this, why we can't have the normal version of Windows. Bill doesn't want any of it. He doesn't want to hear it. He yells at me, shuts me down.
We did everything we could to make the platform as attractive for game developers as possible. We even hired 50 game makers into the Xbox Advanced Technology Group to support the game developers. The ATG team collectively had made hundreds of games, so we were great at translating game developer concerns into changes at Microsoft. We did whatever it took, and this focus on developers, it was a game changer because we attacked one of Sony's biggest weaknesses. They did not have great developer tools or support or documentation.
Games sell consoles, and so in order to sell consoles, we had to win the hearts and minds of the developers.
I could see that Xbox had a chance of succeeding. We were listening to developers, and we were building exclusive, high-quality first-party titles. We knew that platform adoption requires proof. People don't buy your new hardware if there's no reason to. Definitely a problem for the new Xbox handheld. And it worked. By 2012, Xbox was a multi-billion-dollar business, and they were a true player in the living room. Fast forward, and here we are. It's 1 year from the 25th anniversary of the Xbox, and it looks like they're abandoning pretty much everything that made the Xbox brand great in the first place. Let's start with the handheld announcement. I've seen mixed reactions, and that has me really puzzled because I don't see any reason why anyone would buy this piece of hardware. Just like the original Xbox, it's built on Windows, a slimmed down version of Windows, but it's still Windows. So this isn't something new. And let me just admit my bias here. I don't like Windows. When I left Microsoft, I installed Linux on all of my personal systems, and I never looked back. Of course, as many pointed out after PewDiePie did the same thing, Windows is still needed for some games, so I created a dual boot machine for those cases. Incidentally, this line, the freedom of Windows, freedom? Windows 11 is forcing you to have separate accounts so they can track everything you do. Doesn't feel very free. And they are leaving a lot of their Windows 10 users behind because they require a chip to be installed on the motherboard in order for you to upgrade. Microsoft, you do you, but freedom is literally the last thing I would use to describe the Windows operating system. So given the Xbox was already built on Windows, I don't see that that's really a big selling point. But
Now you can hear me here, and that's because I have this mic voice thing to copy over to this. And so, geez, that's terrible. Well, that's me just realizing probably through this whole thing you couldn't understand what the heck I was saying. Yikes. Yikes. But that's why this is a test run, guys. This is exactly why. We're testing everything right now to make sure that it works for future streams. Oh, okay, so I watched Zootopia 2. That was a complete bust then, probably. All my comments that I had to say about that, complete bust. Anyway, what I was saying about this, yeah, is that the vast majority doesn't care. She's talking about, like, oh, you know, Windows is so limiting, and, like, they're trying to track everything you do. Like, we've already, like, gone through this, I believe, personally, and people don't care. Like, the jury's out. People don't care. Like, people will still prefer Windows. It's easier. It's more streamlined. You know, they don't have to do all of the background stuff, and that's what people are trying to avoid doing. They don't want to look into, they don't want to research, you know what I'm saying, that extra stuff that maybe, you know, few people enjoy. People like Laura Fryer might enjoy. But your average Joe, your average Sarah, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not trying to get into the nitty gritty of all of that just to play a game or just to, you know, she was saying that she had to discover a dual boot system. You know what I'm saying? In order to run Linux and still be able to play some games. This is what people are not trying to do. Once Linux figures out how to run, or once a developer cares enough to develop their game to run on Linux as well, this is when people might consider Linux and go, oh, you know, maybe I'll do that instead. But let's continue.
that's okay, because it's really about the games. Will it be Halo? Will it be the new Gears? Is there going to be a game so compelling that it drives me to adopt this new handheld? Well, here's the problem. Xbox doesn't do exclusives anymore. Even if Xbox delivers a crazy great game, Xbox...
But you don't need exclusives. Like, exclusives is, the idea of exclusives is it's a dying idea. This is no longer what keeps video game systems or games alive. It won't be in the near future. And so it's better to move forward with that train of thought than to, like, keep this kind of bogging you down, right? It's like exclusives were a thing of the past. You know, that's really what put PlayStation on the map. That's really what skyrocketed them into the stratosphere they're in now. But now, as you see, everything's on PC. You know, because these corporations are constantly trying to figure out how they can bring in more money, right? And so, with that comes like, you know, the loss of exclusives, essentially. Greed kind of led to that. And now that they'll be on all PC platforms, and Xbox is kind of exiting the console race in a sense, so the PlayStation is going to be launching video games on their platform very soon. They've already launched 2 games, I believe. And so Xbox is launching games on PlayStation, and it's all just kind of like everybody's launching on each other's platforms. They no longer care. I'm waiting for the day. I think the only person that cares is Nintendo, because they understand that their IP and their property is literally what makes their platform. They, like, for a long time, they only came out with Nintendo-made games. For when, like, the Wii U came out, and they weren't really getting any other third-party support. And so I would say that's the only exception. Everybody else is kind of like exiting the exclusive race. Maybe timed exclusives could still be a thing, right? But people don't want to just leave that money on the table forever.
Xbox Anywhere means that I can play that game on any platform. I can play it on Xbox or PC. I may even be able to play it on the PS5 or the Switch. So why would I buy the ROG Ally? And of course, delivering a killer game in a reasonable time frame isn't something Xbox is particularly good at right now.
Handhelds is all about comfortability and convenience. So the more convenient you can make it, like the more games you would allow a player to play on said handheld, the better it feels, right? So if it has like vibrating controls, things like that, easy integration with your other systems and things like that, then it's going to be a W. Like, it's going to be a win. It's like people are going to want to buy the product. If it's better than what currently exists in the market, people are going to want to buy the product. And so far, they're claiming it is, but I don't know if I believe Xbox on just that alone. I would definitely need to see more about it. There are some worries that I have about it, and because it's probably the most expensive handheld out, or that's coming out so far, that's another hurdle that they have to get over. And I actually don't think that was the best choice on their part. It'll probably be why the system fails overall, but we shall see. They might just lower the price. Who knows?
In the showcase, there were several games still in development that weren't even mentioned, like State of Decay 3, Perfect Dark, and Fable. And many of these games have been in development over 5 years. There is only one reason these games are behind. It's because Xbox has lost their culture of shipping at scale. They don't have the people or the process in place that can ship. And it's a shame because they used to do better than anyone in the business. Recently, Microsoft announced that they were going to be doing layoffs.
I could see that they're doing massive layoffs in the games industry right now, for sure.
A lot of people are speculating that it's going to be the sales division, but I'm not so sure. I think that if I was working on one of the games that didn't make the showcase, or if I was in the Xbox hardware team, I would be worried. So there isn't going to be any killer game that drives me to buy this handheld. And that's okay, right? Because Xbox Anywhere means that I'm going to be able to play all my Xbox games and PC games on my handheld. And that right there could be a big selling point. Except it looks like that might not be the case. There's been some confusion on this point, but from what I can tell, pure Xbox is correct. You won't be able to play native Xbox games, only native PC games. This isn't great, in my opinion. If Xbox Anywhere means I should be able to play all my games on the handheld device, then darn it, I want to play all of my games, not just my PC games. Further on in the article, they say, let's hope we might get native console games in the future, but it's not something we're expecting right now. Think of the ROG Xbox Ally as a Windows 11 gaming PC with Xbox-specific features, because that's basically what it is.
Fair, yeah.
If you don't have a big budget, why not just buy a PC? They're not that expensive if you build it yourself. And you'll have Windows 11, just like the handheld, and you'll be able to play all of your PC games.
Because it just,
if you want a handheld,
it really just reminds me of the PlayStation Portal when it came out. It really does. Now I get that the PlayStation Portal released for a lot cheaper. Like I mentioned before, the price point is probably my main hang up with this, and that's where I feel like people have a lot of ground. But other than that, it's cool.
Skip the PC and buy a Steam Deck, or some of the other handhelds with SteamOS on them. It's built on Linux, so no Windows 11, and it's cheap compared to most of the handhelds out there. And that brings up one other possibility to consider. Maybe it's price. Maybe Xbox and Asus are going to undercut the market by making this a very inexpensive handheld. I personally don't think this is likely to happen. Remember, the Xbox ROG Ally is essentially a reskin of an existing product. Their cheapest version of the ROG Ally is around $600. I assume that both Xbox and Asus don't want to lose a lot of money on this new device. Asus is great at hardware, and I'm sure they have already done the cost reduction on the handheld. You see, with hardware, the post-launch plans are almost more important than building the initial product, because in hardware, the game is price reduction of all of the parts, because then you can make a profit in years 2, 3, and 4 of your console. The ROG Ally has already been through this process, so it's very unlikely the price is going to be the thing that they will be able to lower. It's unlikely to be the thing that brings gamers to buying the handheld. The Xbox Anywhere message sounds great on the surface, but in reality, it's just marketing. It's style with no substance. Unfortunately, I don't think marketing's going to be enough. There's literally no reason to buy this handheld. Obviously, as one of the founding members of the Xbox team, I'm not pleased with where things are today. I don't love watching all of the value that I helped create slowly get eroded away. I'm sad because from my perspective, it looks like Xbox has no desire or literally can't ship hardware anymore. So this partnership is about a slow exit from the hardware business completely. Personally, I think Xbox hardware is dead.
Right, yeah.
The plan appears to be to just drive everybody to Game Pass. And let's be clear, it has a lot of value. I'm thinking that might be why they decided to charge $80 for Outer Worlds 2. The developers have been clear that they didn't make that decision. And here's the thing, maybe it will work. Xbox has a deep portfolio.
Now 70.
The remake of Oblivion was obviously a huge success, and they can continue to outsource that work to external companies and make a lot of money releasing their older games. Older games from an era when Xbox knew how to build them.
Yes.
But what is the long-term plan? Where are the new hits? What will make people care about the Xbox 25 years from now? I was excited to see Clockwork Evolution in the showcase, but will something like that be enough? Do they have more? Next year marks the 25th anniversary of the Xbox, and I'm sure that they will have some big announcements and plans for honoring the milestone. Maybe next year is the year. Maybe next year is the year that the fog will clear and all of us will see the beauty in these latest announcements. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. If you like this video, why Xbox lost. In it, I talk about all the cultural changes that led to what you're seeing today. If you watch the latest...
All right, and that was another video from your girl, and I appreciate it. You know, I appreciate that perspective. I'm definitely thinking about that. I think, I mean, there's definitely I could agree with, and I'm sure other people agree with as well, probably the whole video. I think that Xbox is definitely making bold moves. That could potentially lead to their closure or their impending doom, but There's two sides to this. It could lead to that, or it could lead to a new age of gaming as we know it. Now, people are obviously trying to push toward this new era of gaming where consoles are not a thing. And I think that it's going to come at some point in time, for sure. The main things that we struggle with is like the ability to run such taxing games on our own, right? There's a lot of people who don't want the extra work, or the extra brain power that comes with, you know. But like they're streamlining it with AI and with different things like that. They have been streamlining like how we're going to do this, and so I do think that if we just allow these people to kind of like do what they do, inevitably we'll get to this same point where it might not be Xbox, maybe PlayStation, maybe Nintendo. I highly doubt Nintendo's the first one, but you get my point. Like somebody is going to be like, all right, well, it makes so much sense because we spend so much money on consoles every 5 years, every 10 years, right? And so now what we can do is put the cost on the customer, you know, to make all of those different changes and upgrades, and we just let them know what their PC needs to run at. And then, like I said, with things like NVIDIA, you know, GeForce, AI, it's actually helping to run our PC properly, or put our PC in the proper settings to run such games and whatnot. Yeah, I just feel like it's inevitable. So Google tried to come out first and do something similar. They weren't able to do it. It's too expensive for them. They got out of the race. And now it seems like Xbox is trying to do the same thing. And we'll see if they succeed. They already kind of have the infrastructure. And that's something that Google did not have. So I feel a little more optimistic about Xbox's success here, but we shall see. They're definitely exiting the console race, but I feel like this was a given a long time ago when Phil Spencer like first said, "Oh, yeah, it's just going to be these 2 games, guys. Don't worry." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, right." Even before that, I remember the conversations. Like, okay, yeah, just open it up, Phil. Just open it up. Let me play Halo on PlayStation. Like, so many conversations like that. That I'm always just shocked at the surprise when it happens. It's like, yeah, we knew it was gonna happen. But yeah, that's just how I feel. I'm not gonna go on for too much longer. This was a nice little stream, whatever you want to call it. It was a nice little stream on us. But I don't want to continue streaming. It's not supposed to be a full one. It was supposed to be a full one, but the day got away from me. So, and the technical difficulties I had at the beginning was a big problem. So, but yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the YouTube stream. First YouTube stream back. Hopefully I can continue. They changed the rules, so that's why I was able to stream again. Since as of June, literally last month, like they were like, oh, you can just stream on all platforms now. Or you don't have to have any sort of quota, meet any sort of quota to stream on YouTube, which is great. Might look into options for vertical streams and things like that for the future. But till then, peace and happy gaming.